If you're a freelancer or small business owner, then you're probably trying to grow your business in some way. And over the past year, I've certainly been trying to grow my business. And it's actually why I started a brand new agency and niched down my offer so that I could focus on what I do best ultimately and find other amazing people that are great at what they do and ultimately bring a great team together so I can focus on scaling this new agency. And so over the past year, working with the clients I've been working with, I've learned a number of different lessons to do with like money problems, to do with client relationship issues, and just generally trying to grow as a person, grow in my business, and make it as healthy and sustainable as possible. And so, a few of these lessons I've realized are ones that, on a smaller scale, they haven't been that big, but if I amplified the problem to a much bigger scale, it would have been bigger and it would have obviously been a huge issue. And these are a few lessons that I'm glad I've already come across on a smaller scale because I knew that obviously if I amplified them to a bigger business that I aim to have and aim to grow, it'll be much bigger. So I'm able to be aware of that issue going forward and identify it before it happens, hopefully. So I want to go over a few different points and kind of pointers I've gone over and tips that I want to share with you because they're stuff that they are things I'm focusing on as I grow my business now and scale it, scale teams, and try to scale like a sales team so I can actually focus on helping more and more and more businesses with what I do best, which is content creation and social media management and optimization. So one of the first things is kind of, to me now, I guess it's like a obvious point, but I guess it's like if you know, you know, it's the type of thing. If you don't know, you don't know. But in one of the first things I ever learned a few years ago about business and investing and pitching is know your numbers. If you are the entrepreneur, if you're the person with the business idea and you have made a business plan or whatever, you need to know your numbers because this comes from the days of like pitching your idea to an investor. Because back in the day when it's not just you couldn't easily make a Shopify store and start selling online. You had to go to a business owner or an investor or an agent investor and venture capitalist and try and pitch them on something. And so you need to know your numbers. And it's not like those times have gone because they're still there. It's just they're there in more various forms now. They're there online, they're there in communities and platforms and everything. But the whole premise of doing that, the why hasn't changed. You still need to know your numbers because obviously, as the business owner, as the person that's in charge of operating the business and managing and running the business, you need to know how much things are costing you and how much you're making for everything that costs you, for everything that you're doing, so that you can, make the right decisions based on problems that come your way or ideas that come your way. For instance, if you have a problem and it's going to cost you X amount, you need to know what is the cost of that per employee, what's the cost of that per client, what's the cost of that per customer, what's the lifetime value. The things like knowing the profit per client for me is crucial because I need to know how much I can comfortably and healthily spend on marketing. I need to know what the average lifetime value of my clients are. In the long term, one of my goals is to try and have one of the longest lifetime value agencies in the world. So making sure that I can increase the lifetime value, actually increasing it as an average and not just making sure that not 2 out of my 50 clients are staying for 50 months and the rest go after 3 months. I actually want to make sure that all of the clients are staying for as long as it's humanly possible for healthy reasons as well, because we genuinely form a great relationship with them and we're genuinely helping them grow their business in the best way. And so, for instance, knowing a lifetime value of them, say it's £100,000 or $100,000, say, I need to know how much I can spend on ads because I don't want to spend 50,000 on ads to get one lead or one client, because that's still maybe profit, but it's ridiculous. Whereas if I spend 100,000 on ads, but it's going to get me 10 or 50 or 100 clients, then I know that that isn't that bad. You should get more than 5 or 10 clients from 100,000 ads, but it's still more profit because ultimately the lifetime value is there. And so generally it's working out how much your costs are so that you know what the best outcome is actually going to be. And you know that if problems come your way, that you know how to deal with them in the best way because you know the costs and profits and, gross profits, net profits per individual element you have within your business, whether it's cost per product, cost per service, cost per client, cost per employee, revenue per employee, all that type of stuff, and the different categories and elements and departments in the business as well. So knowing your numbers is very crucial. And obviously, I think spending the lifetime value on ads would be a terrible idea. You'd hope to not spend the entire lifetime value of your clients on ads. Maybe 1 month's worth, but that's about it. But anyway, I think the next point I want to make really is that something that is a small business owners slash freelancers kind of viewpoint, and I think is the first kind of mindset shift and maybe mental hurdle you have to come across and realize when you go from naturally, if you've been an employee before, you've been a member of staff, and then you go to owning your own business, especially if you go from a member of staff to a small business and hiring staff, it's going to be a big shift. Not just because you're managing people and you're managing a team and you're managing sales and all the departments or the different few people you have, but because if you're so used to your income as your income and that's what your business is making and that's your income, that's no longer the reality when you are the business owner. When you're growing your business, you will get paid last. And there is a book about this of like always pay yourself first 20% or whatever, but like at least 20%. But especially at the beginning when you're growing your business, when you're growing, like until you have departments, until you have more than 10 or 20 people, there is no capacity financially unless you have some sort of software company where you've got 99% margins. It's impossible and not healthy for the business to pay yourself first, because yes, you're the visionary, you're the idea, you're the person trying to grow the idea and grow the team and grow sales and get more money into the business, but you you need to focus on all the different areas that are actually growing your business, and that doesn't include you until the last point in terms of the money, because you've got the revenue from the clients or customers and the sales that's got to then pay for all of the team that are responsible for making all of the operations actually happen, and then the profits, whatever you're left with, then you obviously take your cut. So at the beginning, understanding that the revenue and even sometimes the first level of profit isn't your money, because especially with profits at the beginning, you might say, oh, we're making 10k a month and we've got 5k profit. That's 5k to spend on Gucci and Dior and my new Rolex. No, because out of that 5k, I would suggest living on 1 to 2k at most, or the bare minimum, so that you can reinvest it back into the business. But then obviously being aware of, as you do grow, then it's fine to change your lifestyle a little bit. Now, the small kind of exception here and caveat to this is that this does depend, like the profit here does depend on what business you want. What kind of business do you want to have? Do you want to have a 5 or 10 person team making 10 or 20k profit a month? If that's the case, then fine, take home 5, 10k and you've got a successful business. You've got a decent churn if it's a service-based business and you're making sales and it's healthy and it's sustaining itself. That's fantastic if you want that. But if you are wanting to grow a bigger business and scale it and build teams and divisions, then always be aware of the healthy amount you want to be reinvesting. Don't just reinvest 95% of your profits and live super frugally unnecessarily, because absolutely enjoy the fruits of your labor. But you do have to be aware of the fact that you won't be getting paid first as the business owner. So you'll be balancing the profits you make with how much you actually want to be reinvesting, depending on the type of business you want to actually have. So just take those two elements into account, underneath the fact that you won't be getting paid first as a business owner. The second one is leading back to what I was first talking about with kind of problems and being able to deal with things that come your way that are unexpected. And this is to always have a certain level of cash reserves. Now, of course, if you're a business with high margins, this isn't that difficult, especially if you live in somewhere where you haven't got to worry about writing off so many things and you haven't got to worry about loads of expenses. If you have a big pot of cash reserves and maybe you're investing in other assets or something for the business, fantastic, because there will be unexpected times where you have problems that come your way. And in order to survive as the business, you need to be able to pay for big problems that come your way and be able to financially survive from those problems. And I would say that you want to be able to thrive all the time, but of course, big problems can almost wipe you out. So you want to just have cash reserves, have the safety net. The same way that my financial advice to anyone would be to have a 3 to 6 months cash reserves as personally anyway, just surviving, because you never know what will happen in your life. And the same with your business. You want to have maybe at least 3 to 6 months of, revenue in the business, so you have a safety net for when big problems come your way, so that you actually can handle them. Now, the kind of the thing I want to link to with kind of knowing your numbers is something to do with when you are scaling the business and trying to work out offers, trying to work out different ideas, different products or services, maybe, is trying to work out your margins. And this comes down to the idea of, can you lower your costs? Because in any business, you shouldn't want to be trying to lower the costs just to make more money, because if you want to make more money, just try and scale the business and help more people ultimately. But we want to be lowering costs so that, one, we can either pay our staff or contractors more in some way, shape, or form. If we've got unnecessary expenses, can we give some of that money towards expenses to our staff and pay them more if that's possible? But also lowering costs so that we can actually reinvest back into the business. If we've got tons of unnecessary costs, or a small unnecessary costs in loads of areas but in really small amounts, add them all up, see what they come to, and actually see how you can lower your margins in some way so that you might be able to reinvest back into the business. And maybe you can, because realizing how much you can lower your costs and lower your margins and lower your costs can allow you to actually provide more value to your customers, more value to your clients, more value to your members of staff, because it's not just necessarily cost cutting so that you make more money. It's cost cutting so that you can provide more money to staff, like I said, or reinvest back into the business and provide a better experience to your customers or clients, or provide better discounts. So finding out where the kind of loose change is being lost at, so that you can actually provide a better, value to your customers, clients, and members of staff, and just grow the business more and help your clients in a better way. Now, the last point here I want to make is people that are trying to grow a big business. If you're kind of the entrepreneur, you're trying to grow a bigger business, you're investing in teams, division, you want to grow as much as you possibly can. This comes down to investing in great people. And entrepreneurs understand this. If you're a business owner that's trying to scale teams and divisions, you know this because you want to be outsourcing your weaknesses. I suck at ads and Facebook ads and things, and that's why, I know people that are better at it than me and they do it. And it's why whatever you're doing within your business, I would suck at accounts. That's why I'm an accountant. I'd suck at doing, graphic design. Well, I can do it a bit, but I'm better at video editing and social media than anything else. So that's why I still get people that are better at those areas than me. But not just necessarily for the skills-based jobs within your business and the operations, but also for the scaling of your business and the operations. Like headhunting, for instance, is a massive part of scaling a business, because as you grow a business more and more and more, you will be on the lookout for people that are amazing, but because they're amazing, they already work for another really good firm. So it's about headhunting for an amazing manager, an amazing executive, an amazing financial officer, an amazing in-house accountant or lawyer, whatever it might be, because there are people that are worth a lot to your business. They might cost your business a lot, but it's because they are worth a lot and they can help you scale. So the two areas of investing in great people are obviously outsourcing your weaknesses at the beginning. As the entrepreneur, it's connecting the customers or clients to the people that have the great skills and bringing a team of people together, building teams, building divisions, and making everything run smoothly and growing it healthily and sustainably. So it's about outsourcing your weaknesses and finding amazing people that are better at it than you are to actually do the skills better than you can do it, so that you can focus on finding these amazing people and growing it more and more and more, so you can provide more and more and more value for the best value possible. So the skills-based work, but then obviously the scaling-based work as well. People that are great at building, find those people as well. People that are great at managing entire teams, because it's not just, again, the skills-based people, it's the people that manage the skills-based people, because you may not be a great manager, you may not be a great leader, you may not be the ideas type of person, but you like all this stuff. So when it comes to all of this, it's just about finding those great people, whether it's skills-based, whether it's scaling-based or operational, and bringing it all together ultimately. But anyway, that is about it, and that's basically every point I can make. Obviously, just when it comes to your business in general, if you're trying to grow a bigger business, if you're trying to grow a business, like I said, 5, 10K a month profit, and you just want a small team of people, then fantastic. Or if you're trying to grow a big business and you're trying to have divisions, have everything you want to have, then, focus on finding the best people you can, outsourcing your weaknesses, and just generally building amazing teams and focusing on these 5 points and working out how you can grow in the best way possible. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and see you in the next video.